A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another DDD Dashboard webinar. My name is Musa Simelani. As you can see today, we have a special guest in Andrew Mokale. Andrew is one of the product managers in the DDD, responsible for development, update, and enhancements in the dashboard. And if you've been to a previous webinar where we spoke about the latest features of the dashboard, you've probably seen him before. He's here today again to talk to us about the latest DDD releases with safety, security, and enhancements and improvements in mind. Well, without further ado, let me now pass on to our special guest, Andrew Mokale. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Musa. Really appreciate being here with everyone, and good afternoon to everyone on the call. So today I'll be just giving you a highlight of the new features in the Dashboard Release 3 that went live yesterday evening. And as we can see here in the topics for the day, we've got user Persal ID and or passport number. That's the one that we'll be kicking off with. And then we'll head into POPIA disclaimers and reports and emails. Then we'll go into SIG Name included in report headers, followed by learner chart report enhancements and possible duplicate learner records report enhancements. And also lastly, the user login extract report enhancement. And then right at the end there, we will have a short recap and then open up for a question and answer session. So getting into it, starting off with user Persal ID and or passport number, you will see that as of yesterday evening, when Dashboard Release 3 went live, you'll see that when you go over to www.dbedashboard.co.za and you land on the home page, when you click on that logon button, it will take you over to the logon page as per usual. And then once you've entered your username and your password and clicked on the logon, and you successfully logged onto the dashboard, you will see the pop-up that appears to the right here that speaks of your account. So it indicates all the details of your account. And the reason behind this is that we are updating our address book. And part of updating that address book now includes ability to capture your ID number or your passport number. And if you are also employed by government, you can also enter your Persal number. Now, why do we need this information? This information helps EMS better identify your account when they need to either update your account or when they need to deactivate your account when you've left the department, or maybe when you've moved from one entity to another within the department. They're able to easily identify your account and make the appropriate changes. This definitely speeds up the entire user support process when users need to move from one entity to another, or when users need to be deactivated. A key important piece about this is that this information, this personal information, will not be shared with third parties whatsoever. The only part where this information is used is in between EMS and HR for them to map your user account details accordingly. And then as you proceed with using the dashboard with Release 3 on, you will see that when you download a report, either it be a scheduled report that comes into your mailbox with a link that you need to click on and then go onto the dashboard and download it, or if it's an immediate report that you get out of the dashboard, all reports that are downloaded from the DDD dashboard and the emails from the DDD dashboard now contain the disclaimers, making you aware of the responsibility that you carry to protect the personal information that may be contained within them. You will see there with the images that are displayed, top right there, the email that you will receive will be having a disclaimer at the bottom there, and any form of report that you download from the dashboard will also have a disclaimer as displayed here with the example of the SMT Dashboard Insights report. And then moving on to the SIG name included in the report headers. Here you will see that special interest groups present a list of schools that are grouped based on specific focus, intervention, or program. And now with all of the DDD reports, when you download it, within a SIG, it now includes the SIG name as well. The reason why this is there is so that you are very much aware of the length and breadth of the data that you're looking at. And if we can look at the examples that we've got here in our slide, at the top there, we're looking at the subject year-on-year comparison report. And this report is for Gauteng, but not for all of Gauteng. It's only for SIP schools within Gauteng. So that is a very important piece of information for whoever is using that report to know that I'm not looking at the entire schools of all of Gauteng, but just SIP schools within Gauteng. And then looking at the second example here, we can see that we are looking at the school achievement report, and this is for Eastern Cape as a province, but we're only looking at public schools within Eastern Cape. So the big value of adding SIG names or special interest group names into report headers is so that the user knows 100% how much data they're actually looking at. And then moving on to the learner chart report enhancement, what we have done here with the learner chart report is we've replaced the term repeat with not promoted. So you will see that in the green highlight here, when you try and download the learner chart report, when you click on the 2020 promotion status or the previous year promotion status, all the options that you will have there, because it's for a previous year, so it bases it off of the term 4 final promotion decisions, which include all, not promoted, progressed, promoted, and retained. And then in the orange, you will see that this is the year term promotion status that speaks to the current year that you're looking at. And this one is quite flexible, looking at where you are on the dashboard and what year and term are you looking at within the dashboard. And if you're looking at terms either 1, 2, or 3, you will see that the filter shortens out and only contains all, not promoted, and promoted options. While if you downloaded it or if you clicked on the report when you were focusing on term 4 in any of the years, then all 5 options would be available there, which would be all, not promoted, progressed, promoted, and retained. And this change is carried through into the report as well, as you can see with the example of the image at the bottom of the slide there, with the grade 8 not promoted learners last year and this term. So as you select your filters here, then the dashboard is able to provide to you exactly the data that you need appropriately. And the reason why we moved away from repeat to not promoted is because repeat has a different implication versus not promoted. Not promoted speaks directly to the term promotion status wherever you may have been, but repeat might indicate that there's already more data behind it, which is not the case in this report. It only speaks to the promotion status that you carry from your previous year or your previous term. And then looking at the duplicate learner records report enhancement, this one has been renamed to possible duplicate learner records report. And you can see there with the top left image there, it's part of the general and information report. And as you click on it, you will see that black loading image that appears there as well. And once it's downloaded, you'll see that the name as well there is now reflecting DDD possible duplicate learner record report. And when you open the report, you will also see that the heading of the report as well has been updated accordingly. Another thing that's been included in the report is the disclaimer for how the duplicate learner record report is generated. And as we all know, this report is generated based on only matching ID numbers and LURITS numbers. Now, for access to this report, you must have full PI and also the duplicate learner record report role assigned to your account. And if you need that kind of access, then you need to get in touch with your user access manager within your entity. And then lastly, looking at the user login extract report enhancement. This is part of the system report enhancement. And this report reflects to you the login activity of users on the dashboard. And it has been enhanced for, again, going back to the Protection of Personal Information Act that has been effective since July, to remove the actual email addresses of users from the report and replace it with the specialization in the designation fields, as demonstrated there with the image at the bottom of the slide. Now, this report is ideal for our dashboard administrators. It helps them track usage of the dashboard, and it also assists them in understanding some of the challenges that might be there when users are attempting to log on to the dashboard. Going into a recap. So, starting off at the very top bullet point there, fields to capture your ID, passport, and or Persal number have been added, and a user account information pop-up will appear for you to capture if you have not captured already. This will happen immediately once you've successfully logged onto the dashboard. And do remember that this information will not be shared with third parties. It is only meant for EMIS to use in order to correctly identify your user account on the dashboard. And then secondly, there we've got disclaimers that have been added to all reports and emails from the DDD dashboard that remind you of the responsibility that you carry to protect the personal information you may have access to. This is in line with the Protection of Personal Information Act that came into effect in July. And then third bullet point there, got special interest group names that are included in reports on the DDD dashboard. And fourth, we've got the repeat term renamed to not promoted in the learner chat report. And we've seen how that is carried through from when you click on the learner chat report on the dashboard, when you select your filters, all the way down to when you are viewing your report in Microsoft Excel or whichever spreadsheet program you are using. Second last there, we've got the disclaimer that's been added to the possible duplicate learner records report. This is part of the enhancements that have been done on the report. Again, a reminder that this report requires you to have full PI and also the possible duplicate learner records report role assigned to you. And if you do need access to this report so that you can be effective in your function, then you need to engage with your nearest dashboard administrator for assistance. And then lastly there, user email addresses have been replaced in the user login extract report with the specialization and designation fields. Now, how these two fields assist in the user login extract report, you can immediately see how the dashboard is being used, how often certain specializations use the dashboard, and therefore can also engage those particular specializations and designations. And Dashboard Release 3 has kept to its theme, which is safe, secure, and protected. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. And now we've got opportunity for our Q&A. Over back to you, Musa.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Andrew. As we can see, ladies and gentlemen, some alignments to POPI, some cleanup of some reports, and some very special requests being fulfilled, particularly in those users that are in the interest groups, for them to see themselves in the reports. Very exciting features. And I think let me first start with a question here that's coming from Dorothy Masilo. And they're saying, how can new users be added to the DDD dashboard to be specific SMT members? Dorothy, really strongly recommend that you send a request to help desk rather. As you can see, Andrew is already displaying that it's help@dbdashboards.co.za. We are actually currently sitting in that email, and you can expect a speedy response. But please send that to us so we see where you are, so we can refer you properly and follow up the process on getting you that logon. We've got Tabo Given Pinar here saying, hi team, is it not possible to hold a webinar after 3 p.m. at least, especially when schools are open, so that we can fully attend without missing classes? I think a very good question, Tabo. And I think what I should clear up is that catch-up session is available from 2 o'clock onwards. You can attend it any time between 2 o'clock on Thursday till Friday at around 11 is when we will cut it off so that we can create registers. So just to be clear, it's not to say that it's available at 2, it's to say it's available from 2. And you can join any time from 2 o'clock onwards and rewatch that recording. And also it will help us to see exactly, we'll gather some good statistics and analysis there to see when everyone is mostly attending, which is the idea, so that we can go back and set times that are comfortable for many of us. We've got our resident SME in the room, Trishan, and he's saying, good day, I'm currently in training course and logged into this webinar. At the same time, query, possible duplicate learner report doesn't appear on my dashboard. Any reason why? So this particular report, I think, the man is in the room. Let me pass this question to Andrew, who I think will answer it better than me. Andrew, to you.
Thanks, Musa, and thank you for the question, Trishan. So the most likely reason why you aren't seeing this report on your user account on the dashboard is because the report requires you to have full PI plus the duplicate learner record report role assigned to you. Of course, you can apply for this access. You will need to provide motivation as to why you need access to that report. As again, going back to the theme of Dashboard Release 3, safe, secure, and protected, we want to make sure that whatever information that is given out is safe, is secure, and protected in all the hands that it needs to get into appropriately. So that's most likely the reason why you might not be seeing it on your side. But to Musa's point, do get in touch with our help desk to get some more assistance in terms of getting access to that report.
Wonderful. We've got a comment and a question here from Matthew Varugis. Apologies if I'm butchering your name there, Matthews. He's saying, thanks for the new features. Release 3 will give us new reporting ideas. Sorry, I've auto-scrolled there because there was a new message. Thanks for the new features. Release 3 will give us new reporting ideas as well as more filtered information. Then he follows up by saying, is DDD live? We can't access your server now. Matthew, I can assure you I am currently on the dashboard as we speak, playing around with the features. I'm able to log in correctly. I have to wonder probably 2 things there. Are you in Free State or National Dashboard? Because National Dashboard is live for me. That's 1. And 2, it could be perhaps an issue of an internet nature, but please, if it persists, here's our help desk. Please let us know. But as far as I can tell on my side, it seems to be logging in. Tishin says, what level should I have access to this report? School, district, province? So to answer that question, Trishan, it will not change your current entity. Trishan, I believe you are in the district level, if I'm correct. So you'll be able to see anything from district downwards as soon as you have that PI view and that report available to you. We also have another question here, or actually this is the one that we answered with regards to access. I think while we see if there's more questions from the colleagues in the room today, allow me now, ladies and gentlemen, to launch our polls. If you could just engage with those polls, ladies and gentlemen, and answer the questions there. They really allow us to really measure the level of value that you found from the session. And these we bring up in meetings to ensure that we continue to give you what you are valuing. I do also want to check if there's anyone with their hands up who wants to speak to us directly. Also want to encourage us that if you do want to speak to us directly, now is the time. If you raise your hand, we'll give you a mic and then we will allow you to speak to us. I do also want to remind us again, as you can see, these webinars, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome. Really hope you found some value. Today, we spoke about some of the features around the dashboard, but normally in this session, we speak about the value of the dashboard in our work around curriculum, educator and learner management. So if you want to join us in the future, please look out for that email from our DDD communication. If for some reason you're not getting an invite, you are welcome to go to the dashboard itself, www.dddashboard.co.za. If you don't log in and you just scroll a little bit, you'll see that there's a banner that allows you to register not only for the current week's webinar, but for some of the future webinars that we have up. Also want to remind us again, although we are running from 12 until 1, this session is available for us to register and attend anytime from 2 o'clock onwards up until the start of the next webinar on the next day. Same thing on Friday, webinar will go on all over the weekend. And we will typically switch off that in-demand feature around 10 in the morning. So just bear that in mind, that if you do miss the session or you do prefer a later session, we've got that webinar in demand. It is a pre-recording, but we'll have the feature where you're able to still communicate with us and ask questions. The difference is that we'll respond to you via text. Right, I just see some more questions here. If I can just scroll there. This one's from Evans Mamukeane. Hi team, I'm a district MS coordinator at Bembe East. I want to thank Provincial Consultant Renai. She's on top of our game. Fantastic. I'm glad to hear that our DDD team on the ground is of assistance. And maybe you might not have the access to Renai in Limpopo, but as you can see, we have equally capable colleagues that are in each province, Ziva, Gauteng, Mpumalanga, Felicity, Free State, Northwest. We've got Yankee in Northern Cape, and KwaZulu-Natal having Sibongile and Bongi. And of course, Eastern Cape, Pindi, we're taking care of there. So if you're having issues or needing assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out to the colleagues in your district who probably have an answer more geared to your context. I can see the polls are well on the way. We're upwards of 56%. I think at this point, in the absence of questions, nothing else for me to say except, I spoke too soon. Here's a question coming up. And this one is from Evans again, and she's saying, I have 8 schools which have submitted on DDD Valid Structure since Monday, but they have not yet appearing as uploaded. Please assist. I don't know, Andrew, is that in line with the updates we've been doing, or should they be contacting our help desk? What's your take there?
Thanks, Musa, and thanks, Evans, for the question. My recommendation is to get in contact with our help desk. Unfortunately, that question is not in line directly with the updates we've been making. However, we are aware of some of those schools that are having a challenge where they upload, but once they've uploaded, the submission is not reflected on the dashboard. The most common reason why this would happen is when there's a mismatch within term dates. And if you find that the term dates that you've entered within SA SAMs outside the Gazette term dates that we have from officially from DBE, that's where the challenge normally comes in. So my recommendation is get in contact with our help desk. Let's have a look at that and see what could be causing that the challenge there.
Wonderful. Thanks, Andrew. And just to recap, ladies and gentlemen, please contact our help desk with those issues. We will do everything we can to assist you with those uploads that are not visible. Want to welcome Ike, who just joined us from a different meeting. Ike, almost as if you're in time, because this question is more geared towards your understanding. Again, from Trishan, he's saying, sorry, not Trishan, my apologies, but from Serelda Weeks, and they're saying, are these DDD sessions appropriate for SACE CPD points? I know that we have SACE CPD alignment of a kind, but let me leave to Ike to explain to us and answer that question. Ike, are you there?
Yes, thank you so much, Musa. Such timely. Yeah, thank you so much. I think there is actually a point in SACE that speaks on attendance, and I think this session is appropriate for when you attend the session. However, it covers for just the attendance piece, not content and all that. So for an attendance piece, yes, this actually covered. We are still in consultation with SACE with respect to approving the content and all that. We have something before, but I think it expired, so we're actually in consultation with them to just renew that. But for the attendance piece of the SACE, it is definitely good to use. Thank you. I hope I was able to answer the question.
It sounds like you did, Ike. I'm not in liberty to reveal, but ladies and gentlemen, we are cooking something for you. As I said, we're not in liberty to reveal, but there is of an online nature, and part of that is to take care of those SACE concerns. But I hope for now that response from Ike assists us. Let me see if there's any further questions. Not seeing any here, and our polls are looking good at 74%. In which case, ladies and gentlemen, if there are no further questions, I'm very happy to adjourn the session. Ike was just in time to answer the question that we don't have answers for. All right, here we go. Some questions and some hands raised. This one is again from Evans Mamukeyani, and they're saying there are databases that cannot be uploaded due to subject null table message error. How can we be assisted? Well, I know that that issue came with a patch from SASAMS. And if there was a patch from SASAMS to address that particular issue. And I know in help desk, we've had a question from a school that said the same issue. Not to pass the buck, but this one is entirely in the hands of SASAMS. But want to assure you that we have that escalated. But please go ahead and also log that query on our help desk so that we can record and it can be part of that portfolio of evidence. But aware of that issue, it's more pointing towards the SSM's platform itself. We have escalated and are waiting response very, very shortly. And we've got another question from Masala Mulete. I'm interested in the user frequency, user report. Andrew, I'm not sure which report is that. Maybe user extract, perhaps. Masala Mulete, also, if you could also express to us your interest in that report. But what I would say is that bear in mind that some of the reports are not available to all of us. And if you're not finding that report, of course, you can make an argument or a request with your district official, or rather your district MS official, on how you can have that privilege. Again, you don't have it not because we want to deny you it, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, POPIA is what's advising us to ensure that those and only those who have access and rights to the names get to see those names. But again, it's not inflexible. A simple request might end up with you having those rights. There was a hand that was raised that I saw. Looks like it swiftly went down. Let me also check on the polls. Polls are now at 76%. Do want to encourage us, ladies and gentlemen, to address those polls. If you're not seeing it, if you simply move your mouse on your laptop, you'll see the black zoom bar will appear. One of those buttons, it looks like buildings or bar graphs, and it's got polls at the bottom. If you click on that, that poll will be able to show up again, and you can assist us with your very, very valuable feedback. Masala Molete has continued his question. It seems only schools that use the dashboard as I view some submissions as duplicates. Let me try and read it again. It seems it's only schools that use the dashboard as I view some submissions and duplicate. Well, there are definitely more more users in the school entity. So it's not surprising to see more users there. But it seems like he does have access to that report and he's already interrogating it. That's good. In which case, I think, ladies and gentlemen, the session has done exactly what it was intended to do, for you to go back to the dashboard and look at some of the new improvements and the new rims that we've put in the car. And hopefully it adds to us better being able to analyze and work with the data of our schools. I've had many false stops, but let me see if there's isn't any further question. Doesn't seem like they are. Looks like we'll be going home a little early today for a change. Nothing else for me to do but to thank. Oh, there we go. IK's got his hand up. Please go ahead, IK.
Yeah, thank you so much, Musa. Just to raise this, and because I'm looking at the attendees' names, and just to, I think this is a safe space to raise this, to say that we will be recognizing some frequent attendees on the webinar very soon. We'll be communicating that information. I'm going through the names and I can see some names that reflect in the names that we have. Comms will be sending you some informations just to prep you, because we want to know why do you keep coming back, and maybe give you 2 minutes just to share the insights that you've gotten from this webinars that might also be helping someone that is just joining the webinar as a first timer, or someone that is trying to make a decision to keep joining or not. But just to give you a heads up that communications will be sent to you on the day we are actually going to be acknowledging you. Thank you so much.
A very, very good point, IK. Thank you. So Kaizen, continuous improvement is definitely what has resulted in this webinar, what it should be, what it is today. And no better way to find improvements than to hear from those who attend the webinar regularly. So that's definitely one of the things we want to do. We want to have a conversation with you, find out what you enjoy, and find out any gaps that you are seeing that maybe we are missing, to ensure that this continues to be a platform we can come and gain some data or gain some skills on using the data of our schools. Okay, here's false stop number 4. Let's see if we go through this time. I want to thank everybody for joining this session. I want to read some words of thanks from John. Thank you, and have a good weekend. He said it for us, but also remember, tomorrow we are back here again with Andrew, who's going to be taking us to the same session again for those who are available on Friday. But if you want to be part of that session again, you're more than welcome. And again, a good reminder that we are currently running our catch-up sessions, which are called On Demand. So from any time between 2 o'clock and 11:30 tomorrow, you'll be able to watch this particular recording. You'll be able to register in attendance and as an attendant and be counted, particularly if you're interested in some of those SACE points. It's just as good a webinar as this one. There will be mechanisms that we'll put to ensure that if you have questions, you can reach out to us. So I want to encourage you that if you're interested in another time slot other than 2, attend at the time slot that you prefer, and that can go into the data to make a decision as we pilot this in demand. I want to thank our guest, Andrew Mokale, for doing such an exceptional job, not only in the dashboard itself, but also in presenting how it has value for us. Thank you very much, Andrew, and really appreciate you. I'm going to hand over to you to say your goodbyes, and then we'll close this channel. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks again, Musa, and thanks to all the participants and all the questions that came through. Always a great pleasure to connect and hear what's happening out there, and get to share the exciting new stuff that are coming with the DDD dashboard. And yeah, until we meet again, for those that will be joining tomorrow, we'll see you again very soon. Thank you.
Wonderful. Without closing out, IK, do you have your goodbyes there?
Thank you so much, Musa. Once again, my thank you goes to Andrew that is presenting the session today and tomorrow. We appreciate you and we thank you so much for taking our time to have this session with us. Also for Musa for making sure the session comes live. I just was told to a meeting that ran over, and it's good to have colleagues here make sure that the session is actually running even when you are not here. I can also look at the feedback, and I'm also appreciating each and every one of the attendees because you have made this your home. You speak out, and we listen. Just looking at the feedback from Evan saying, "Can you please organize warehouse uploading webinar?" Thank you so much. It's a request, it's a need. We will look into it. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much, colleagues. Have yourself a beautiful Thursday. Remember that we are also having another session tomorrow, Friday. Thank you.